If you want to learn background removals in Photoshop like this, then you are at the right place. How are you, my graphic designer friend? Welcome back to Dexperian. If you are new here, I am Didi and I am all about designing in Photoshop and sharing the process with you. I am starting this new series on background removal where we will be taking a new image every time and try removing the background in the most efficient way possible. And in the process, we will be discussing different tools, techniques and tips and tricks which will make our workflow better. Why I am saying efficient is because there are no right or wrong ways of doing things in Photoshop until the results are fine. It's only a matter of time and effort taken to achieve those results, and my goal is to minimize it to the extent possible. You have already seen the image which we will be using today, but before starting to work on the image, let's understand the quick selection tool a little very quickly. But if you are familiar with the tool and just want to see the background removal process, you can skip to this timestamp. For understanding, let's take this image. Keep the layer selected, we go here and either you can click and hold or right click to open the drop down menu and select the quick selection tool, and as the name suggests, just click and drag to select the subject. This is one of the most ideal image for background removal as we have a clear distinction between the subject and the background in terms of color. If some parts are left out, just paint on those areas to add to the selection. If you have selected some extra, don't worry. You can hold the Alt or Option key on the keyboard. This is the shortcut, otherwise you can find it here. This is Add to Selection, by default this will be selected, and this is Subtract from Selection. Either you can click here or keep it as it is and hold the Alt or Option key to select it and paint on the unwanted areas to subtract. Next, let me show you another option. Let's unlock the layer and click on Add Layer Mask button here to remove the background and zoom in, and you will notice that the edges are very sharp. Let's make a duplicate of this layer by pressing Ctrl or Command J and turn off the visibility of the original one. I will delete the layer mask of the duplicate layer, and this time I will check on the Enhance Edge option and again make a selection, but this time we will not do it manually. Instead, we will click here on Select Subject button here and let Adobe's own AI, Adobe Sensei, to do the selection for us. And after that, we can refine it if required. In such a scenario, your 95% work will be done, but in other complex images, you might have to do some work manually. And of course, there will be some extreme cases where you have to do it manually only. See, here it has done an excellent job. And how much of our time is saved? Adobe Sensei has selected this chili also because for it this is also a subject. If we don't want that, we will just subtract it from the selection. Let's add the layer mask, and now you will notice that the edges are a little bit smoother. Let me turn on the visibility of the layer to show you the difference. So depending on whether you want your selection to be sharp or smooth, you can use this option. Let me show you one more option here, and for that I will be opening another image. In this image, the distinction is the focus. The background is blurred and the subject is in focus. Let's see how Adobe Sensei performed here. Excellent, see how powerful it is. If you want, you can subtract the droplet like this. Okay, let's deselect it by pressing Ctrl or Command D and go back to our earlier chili image and convert the layer into a smart object and drag the layer to our current image and resize and position it like this. And now if we want to make a selection of the chili and lemon together, it will select only the chili because Photoshop is in a mood of spicing things up. Just kidding. This is so because we haven't told Photoshop that we'd like that tangy flavor also. How can we tell that? By checking on this option here, Sample All Layers. And now if we click on Select Subject button, it will select both the chili and lemon for us. I think by now you got the idea of how quick selection tool works. So now we will be moving on to the main image. Once again, we will be clicking on the quick selection tool and then click on Select Subject to let Adobe Sensei do its work, and then we will take it from there. You can notice here that it has done a pretty good job with the selection, and we have nothing more to do except the hair part. Frankly, hair and hair-like structure selection is the most critical part in background removal procedure, and the process changes image to image and also depends on the purpose of the image, means where and how we are going to use this image. There are many different advanced tools which I'll be showing in my future videos. For this image, we will be using a pretty simple technique, but first we will create the layer mask. If you want, you can add a solid adjustment layer below it to see how is it. It needs some refinement in these areas. We will turn off the visibility of the solid layer and select the layer mask of the image and click on select and mask here. A new workspace will open. There are many options here. I will not be showing everything in this video except those which are needed for this image, but very soon I will be making a separate video on explaining all the tools here. Here in the properties panel, first we will get the view mode, and by clicking here you can choose any view from the list. I will be selecting the overlay view here, and now the areas which need our attention is clearly visible. Now we will grab the Refine Edge brush tool, adjust the brush size by clicking the left and right second bracket keys on the keyboard and slowly paint over these areas to refine our selection. As the name suggests, remember, it is only to be used for the edges. If you want, you can change the view mode to see how's the selection. Just click on black and white. Here, whites are the areas which are gonna show up and blacks are the areas hidden behind the mask. And after we have finished, hit OK. And here we have our background removal done. I have done some more refinements using the select and mask workspace and also using the brush tool on the layer mask. We can refine it more using some advanced tool which I will be showing in my later videos. If you are a beginner and have just started out, I would suggest do some practice with different types of images and experiment. It will improve your speed and accuracy. And if you want to see what I have done with this image, you can watch this video. You can find it by clicking on the I button above, and the link of the same will be given in the description as well. Hope you like this video, and if you found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And for more such videos, please subscribe to the channel. You can connect with me on Pinterest and Instagram. Links are given in the description. Stay tuned as I'll be right back with a new image. Till then, take care, goodbye, and keep nurturing your creative spirit.